Hello, this is Bald from Baldur's Games, and welcome to the Indie Realm. It's a video series where I look at both modern and classic indie games, give a quick overview, a quick review, and then analyze the game's impact on the industry. Today we're taking a look at relative newcomer to the scene, Dinkum. It's an early access title developed and published by James Bendon, initially released on July 14th, 2022. While I know a lot of larger media sites and other games coverage won't cover games that are still in early access, I like to cover them from time to time because they are games that you can pay for and play, and it's nice to have a little bit of info out there on what you're paying to support and what the state of the project that you're buying into is. I think it's also important to support promising projects and keep creativity in the indie industry alive. Now, what is Dinkum? Dinkum is a farming/life simulation game, often referred to as a cozy game. It is one of many to hit the indie scene after Stardew Valley's massive success. It wears its inspirations on its sleeve with clear nods to Stardew Valley, of course, as well as Minecraft, and especially Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's fully 3D with procedurally generated voxel-based maps from which you'll be building up your community. Did I mention that this game is set in the beautiful Australian outback? Dinkum will have you start by creating your character. The character creation here isn't great, yet it's still one of the best ones that I've used for this type of game. Is it even possible to have a good character creator in this genre? I've yet to see it. Once you've made your character, you will leave the cold and urban South Town on a Zeppelin with an odd old woman Fletch to a basically deserted island. Fletch talks about growing up here, but there really isn't anything here. You get to give your new community a name, and while I think Dinkum is a great name for a town, I settled for Mag Springs. You can immediately explore anywhere on this large map and find a location suitable to put your base tent, where you'll always find Fletch, and a tent for your own home. You'll set up a tent pad for visitors as well. Fletch will give you a bug net and set you loose to explore the island. You can really take your time exploring where to put your base and home tents on this procedurally generated map, and it's worth taking the time as this is the most important choice in the game. Find somewhere pretty with some open space for expansion as well, because your town will build up over time. John, the beauty and wonderful shop owner, will show up in your visitor tent first, and it's imperative that you buy tools from him. This will more or less unlock the ability to mine, fish, chop trees, dig, and keep you supplied with a bug net, as tool durability is a mechanic in this game and tools will break after a fair amount of use. I say more or less in regards to getting right to work because there is a permit system. Much like Animal Crossing New Horizons with Nook Miles, you can complete little quests to earn permit points and use these permit points to acquire new permits, which expands what you can do. At first they are pretty simple, like getting a fishing permit to fish or a logging permit to log, but they become more complex with things like excavating permits, hunting and trapping permits, and vehicle permits. Your original permits can be upgraded eventually too, but you'll have to be a little choosy because it will take you a while to build up enough permit points to get everything. As you pick through the progression of the game, you'll be working towards acquiring enough dinks to have John move into a shop permanently. While the town will always take on a debt when building a new building, you'll need to pay off the previous debt before building more. Having John set up his shop in town is essential because you'll be bringing him your fish, your bugs, your fruits, and anything else you want to sell. You'll have to balance your dinks between buying tools, better furnaces, stone grinders, saw tables, wheelbarrows, and other items, all while paying off the town debt. Theodore will soon visit the island and want to set up a museum. This was an expensive pain in my butt, but a necessary part of my community expanding. Once I got that built, I was finally able to start farming when Rain visited my island and sold me some seeds, and Erwin stopped by shortly thereafter to sell me my chicken Lana. Sweet Lana. I really didn't start any farming until day 10, which was pretty late compared to most games in this genre. Given that this system can take a lot of time and be a little obtuse, I appreciate the delay to get settled in, but again, with as time consuming as farming can be, I kinda wish I was able to get started a bit sooner. I also learned that you don't just automatically need to water your crops every day. Some days you'll just wake up and the soil will be wet. I thought my watering can had a bug, and this really threw me off my game for a little bit. Anyways, once Franklin the researcher visited, I was able to get a weather station which helped me figure out which days I needed to water and which I did not. This was essential because it took a lot of stamina. In order to get visitors to move in permanently to your island, you'll have to chat them up and see if there's anything you can do for them. Usually this is something easy like catching a fly or catching a certain type of fish, but it will help improve your relationship with them and they'll always give you something in return. You can do this with all residents, and it's always worthwhile, but it is essential for your visitors if you want them to move in. While I love doing simple quests like catching fish, lots of townsfolk will ask for clothing despite you not having any means to get any. The rare pieces I found were almost always traded away to build a little relationship with people as I worked towards more residents on my island. I was overjoyed when Clover visited, and I bought every item she had just to ensure that I had them to give away when I needed to. As you play, more systems will continue to unlock as you buy permits, like deep mining and metal detecting, but these permits sometimes require you to be at a certain level to unlock them. At the end of every day, every fish you catch, crocodile you stab, and plant you water will earn you a little bit of skill XP in a certain category like fishing, hunting, and farming. I think this end of the day breakdown is really well done as it shows you exactly what you were able to accomplish, and it even shows you what items you sold and how many dinks you earned from those items. In Dinkum, progress can be slow, but you are always progressing somehow, somewhere. And that's what makes the game really satisfying. I have a really hard time not putting in just one more day. Usually this is just because I'm excited to sell all the fish I caught night fishing, but like many games in this genre, the daily progress is addictive and there's always goals to work towards. You can bring a friend too through it all, as this game has full co-op support. I think, at least at the moment, this would be the ideal way to play through the game, as you'll be able to move through twice as fast, but it's still fun solo. With the game overview out of the way, I want to share my thoughts in a quick review. I played through a little over a full in-game 28-day season, as I wanted to have 5 residents move in and experience just a little bit of autumn and the seasonal changes in the game. This took me a little bit over 20 hours. And with that experience, I can say that I personally love Dinkum. The voxel style really sticks out to me, and it makes the landscape pop and become easy to manipulate, but it also allows the game to have some realism, albeit in a cartoony way. The vibe here is really unique, and I think Dinkum is a worthy inclusion in a genre that has seen a lot of entries in recent years. One of those entries, Animal Crossing, I played a lot of when it came out, but it became such a chore that I felt like I needed to do every day. Dinkum has a lot of the charm from Animal Crossing, minus the animals, and many similarities, but it fixes this issue somewhat by not locking the game to real time. Progress is still slow. I have to kind of dink around to reach my goals, but if you have enough time to work through the days, you can keep making progress the entire time you're sitting down for a play session. Dinkum won't penalize you for missing a day or two, or even come back after a long time away. While it does need to be played in roughly half-an-hour chunks to get the most of every day, it is a bite-sized piece that I've been able to plan my gaming time around, and this game works well if you want to listen to a podcast or something while you play. I also think that this game sets up its goals and reward system well. It has a lot of characters to work towards being able to move into your village, and the permit points always tease you with that new and exciting permit. While I didn't make it there myself, I've heard that there's an ornithopter you can unlock towards the end of the game. This seems like the ultimate reward for having built your village from the ground up, being able to see the profound impact you've had on the landscape around you. Dinkum's systems are all competent. Fishing is unique and fun, bug catching is almost second nature, metal detecting is new and interesting. It is nice to wander around the forest just looking for fruit to cook and running away from scary lizards or emus. Hunting is challenging but rewarding. There are even alpha creatures to take down throughout the world for dinks. Shoveling works realistically, at least comparatively, and Dinkum even made wheeling dirt around seem interesting. Eventually, you unlock the spooky deep mines. While I think that area of the game still needs some polish, I'm glad it's in the game. Every little system in Dinkum comes together as part of a much greater whole. While I think there's still room for fleshing out, like having more dialogue options, or another system or two, I think Dinkum is unique enough in the farming sim genre that it has definitely earned its niche. There's already a ton of game here, and I look forward to seeing what James Bendon is planning on adding to make it ready for full release. As it stands, I give this game the rating of check it out. I think that there is potential here for this game to be an indie great, and once the screws and bolts are all tightened and the balance of this game is fine-tuned, we'll really be looking at a product that's a must-play, and based on what I've already seen around, this game is picking up traction. Now, I always like to talk about a game's impact on the industry, but because Dinkum is an early access title, I actually want to look at how the industry has impacted it. I've already talked a lot about Animal Crossing, but Dinkum serves as a worthy non-Nintendo way to play this type of game. Its incremental world building and slow introductions of new faces to chat to every day really gives the same vibe, despite missing the charm of your shopkeeper being a pair of twin raccoons. Sorry, John. Nook Miles in Animal Crossing was a new and interesting system, and Dinkum's capitalization on it with permit points was an excellent move. Dinkum's voxel-based graphics and procedurally generated world make the game feel open-ended with possibilities like Minecraft, and it shares some of that aesthetic charm with Dragon Quest builders. Of course, you can't talk about the genre without talking about Stardew Valley, but Dinkum's procedural generation at the very least is enough of a pivot to be its own unique thing. Like Stardew, Dinkum is a solo project, and it's tough not to throw a little bit of credit at Eric Baroni's solo studio, Concerned Ape, for paving the path of possibility for James Bendon here. I'm sure a passionate work ethic is something that both of these developers share, as they've both produced excellent solo passion projects. Solo projects of this quality are just a really awesome thing to see. Like all things about Dinkum, it takes little bits and pieces from a wide array of inspirations and puts them together to make a truly excellent and unique complete package. And again, that package isn't even complete yet. If you want to support its ongoing development, Dinkum will only set you back $19.99 USD or comparable $28.95 in Australian dollar dues. I picked it up on sale for $13.99 USD on Steam, and it was well worth the price. Dinkum is one of those games that you can just play forever, and HowLongToBeat.com has it at a 73-hour runtime to truly complete the game. As I said at the end of my review, check this game out. I think it could be an indie great. And that's the video. Have you had time to check out Dinkum yet? Do you like what you see? Do you think it's earned its place in the life sim genre? Have you been to the Australian outback? Feel free to comment on any of the aforementioned questions, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I put out a new video every Sunday. This has been Baldur's Games. Thanks for watching The Indie Realm.